Hi everyone, it's Diane from Boho Stamper. Welcome. Thanks for tuning in with me today while we make another card. Today I'm going to play with flowering Rainboots and the Rainboot dies. And the reason that I chose this set is because this is in the January to June mini catalog. And guess what? It's June. So this catalog will be finishing up here at the end of the month. And I did check this this bundle, the stamps and the dies are all on the retiring list. So to me that means that after June this will be done and you won't be able to get it anymore. So if you like this set, now is the time. With that being said, the new mini catalog, July through December, will be released shortly. Customers will be able to begin shopping with that catalog beginning July the 1st. If you are one of my customers and you've shopped with me since last October, I think I picked, catalogs will be coming to you soon. Yeah, I don't have mine yet either, so I have to kind of figure out what I want to order out of that because it's got all the holiday stuff in it. I have the new June shopping code. Remember, when you shop with Boho Stamper and you spend $50 or more, I send you a thank you gift. And when you spend $100 in product or more, I send you the $50 gift as well as another thank you. And I don't know what those are this month yet. But as soon as I figure it out, I will let you know. Yep. And I got to kind of figure out what I want to get as a holiday stamp set because our card making workshop in July is making Christmas cards. If you are local and you would like to join our group, we make 3 cards. All of your supplies are included. It's $15. Email me at diane@bohostamper.com. The next card making group is June 21st. It's a Tuesday at 10. Yep. And it usually lasts a couple hours. Anyway, because we talk a lot. It's part of the fun, right? So I'm going to use Flirty Flamingo today because I'm also using some designer series paper that was left over from Daffodil Afternoon. And I did my first card. I wasn't real happy with the dark colors that it made, and I had stamped this with Memento Tuxedo Black ink and then used my blends to fill in all of the images. So I kind of changed my mind a little bit and I wanted to lighten it up, and so I did this one, and I think I'm much happier with that. So that's how we're going to do today's. And this says every storm that comes also ends, and then on the inside, rain or shine, I'm here for you. So that's what we're doing now. And I have set some of my stuff up here on the Stamparatus just to make it easier. Oh, I was trying not to hit you in the head. Even we had 2 things to die cut, and I even had those done ahead of time so I didn't have to shake the table as much. And if you want to dress your card up a little bit in the dies, there is this additional extra die that makes a cute little diamond shape. I didn't put that on mine, but I did cut them out because I wasn't sure if I would use them or not. Excuse me. So I'm kind of making a bit of a scene card. It's not really a scene, but we are going to do some masking, and I'm using the Shimmery White paper, and this is cut at 4 by 5 1/4. My background designer series paper was 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, and then my card base, which folded, is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I have another Shimmery White to do my inside. So I think I have everything. And what we're going to do today is stamp our images and then mask them to get the watering can in the background and to get our flower pot in the background. And then this one I die cut out and added with dimensionals. So in order to get your images to have a foreground and a background, we need to do some masking. And all masking is when you stamp your image on a piece of thin paper that has a temporary adhesive or a low tack adhesive. Stampin' Up! Does now have masking paper, so you can use that rather than doing it my old-fashioned way here with, there it is. I stamp this on just plain copier paper, and then I lay it on my silicone mat, put Tombow liquid glue all over the back of it, and make a smooth coat and let it sit there and dry because, you know, Tombow stays kind of sticky. And then I just pat it off on my slacks or on my skin or whatever, and it makes it very low tack, and that's worked for me. But masking paper is probably a greater alternative. When we're going to mask, we want to keep in mind what is in the foreground because that's what we're going to stamp first. So my front images on this card are the Rainboots and the seed packet. So I have those already set up on my one plate for my Stamparatus. I'm going to use Flirty Flamingo for my boots. And I also have a blender pen so that I can use that and move the color around and fill in my image with ink. I also have a little baby wipe here so that if I get any ink around my image on my plate, I can wipe it off. And it also helps me just to push down my Stamparatus plate and smooth it over. And I'll wipe that off because I want it to dry so that when I'm done we can do the little seed packet. My Flirty Flamingo, I have added a little bit of the ink to the inside by squeezing the lid and getting some of the ink into the case. I'm going to use my little blender pen, a brush, it's a pen, and just add some more color to this. Now these pens have a glycerin formula in them, so it does help the ink to move around nice. Your image already has some marks in here where your darker ink would be on the boot, and so you can just go over that with your blender pen. You wouldn't even need to add more ink from the ink pad, but I want to fill in my boots a little bit more, so I'm adding some more color to them. Now because this is the Shimmery White, it's a little sturdier than your basic white. If you're going to stamp this on basic white, you're going to try not to rub over it too much with your blender pen because you'll make your paper pill up. You get little rough edges all over your paper. We don't want that. Okay. And then I'm going to wipe my pen off either on a piece of scrap paper, or this is just a dry baby wipe I keep sitting beside me. And I can set this aside for a minute. Then I did my little seed packet in Mango Melody because that's what color I'm going to make my flowers on the inside. I wanted something a little bit cheerier on the inside of this card to let our friends know that we are there for them, and days will get better if they're having a rough time. before I stamp this over, I am going to add my mask over my Rainboots right now, just in case that stamp is a little bit wet from cleaning it. This will protect it a little bit. And I've used that mask several times, so it is, and I think this one I didn't even need to get the ink. I just used my blender pen and filled the ink in a little bit on it. It leaves the detail nice and dark, but just fills the image in a little bit with that same color. And wipe that off. And actually, that one's done for right now. I don't get you in the head. So I'm going to do the watering can in Smoky Slate. And the pot, I'm going to use Terracotta Tile because I still had Terracotta Tile ink pad, even though it is a retired color. You could use pale papaya or pumpkin pie, or if you have cinnamon cider, that would work. Or you can make your pot a colored pot too. It doesn't even have to be terracotta. Okay, Smoky, so I was going to say, where'd you go? Oh, I forgot to put my mask over my little seed packet here. I would have stamped right over that. Alright. Because we have a mask on there, I want to make sure I give it a good press because I'm getting that image to stamp over another piece of paper. Oh, I'm really shaking you up here, huh? Okay, and here are my grand doggies down there. We're dog sitting the other dogs today. I had my oldest son's dogs there. I guess they're coming back next week. They weren't real happy about being left alone, so they're going to come and visit with me again anyway. But my younger son and daughter-in-law were going away this afternoon. Excuse me. And they had gone to River Watchers Paddle Fest this morning, so they didn't want to leave the dogs alone a whole lot longer than necessary. Am I done with everything while I'm talking? Yeah. So they're with us this afternoon for a while. And Toby is a Labradoodle, I think he is. Golden Doodle or Labradoodle? Golden Doodle. I don't remember. Anyways, his bark sounds ominous, even though he's just such a baby. Okay, I can take my masks off carefully now. And you can see how our images that we just stamped went behind our original images. And I'm going to use the terracotta. I did the same thing. I added a little bit of the ink to the inside of the case. And I am going to add a little bit more color to my image using my blender pen. Doesn't need much. I think, I didn't do it on the other one, I left it white, but I think I'm going to use that darker color and fill my band in on my boots. You can make this as fancy as you want to. You can make little flowers all over your rain boots if you want to. You can make them striped. You can do it however you want. Okay, and then the same thing with our Smoky Slate. And I am wiping my pen off in between here so that I can try to keep my colors separated. And before I get to the watering can, I did take this and added the Smoky Slate to the soles of the boots. Just because, why not? And and then this would be a little darker back here because it's right up against the boots. So I added a little more ink than what my image has there. I do like the blender pens. They give it kind of a watercolor effect almost. And I like how it just takes the ink that you've already stamped with and moves it around enough to fill in your image. Am I still on screen, I hope? And that's pretty much it for the front. Oh, no. So, in order to make our stamped images look like they're not floating on air, I'm going to use one of my Stampin' Blends. I'm using Light Seaside Spray. You can use Pool Party or Light Gray Granite or any lighter color that you have. Oh, and kind of want to know where my second pot is going to be because these would all have a shadow under them. And so these are nice light colors that just help your image look like they're not floating up on your paper. And then what I do to kind of get that rough edge to disappear, I use my color lifter, which really isn't lifting the color, it's kind of pushing the ink around. But it does help fade out those edges a little bit when it dries. It's not going to look like it right now, but as it dries, it kind of fades it out. I just like the effect that it gives it. Not necessary to do at all, but just something you may want to try. Okay. And then I have my sentiment here, my greeting. It says, every storm that comes also ends. And how did I get ink on that card? My sample card up there. Oh, goodness. See if we can do this one straight. Pretty straight. Good with that one. I'm just going to use a couple of dimensionals and add this extra terracotta pot. This is the only thing actually that I added any dimension to on here. I did consider, I was going to look for the clear acrylic raindrops that we had, but those are not in the new catalog, so there really isn't a point in me suggesting those. And, oh, I need that for my inside. So my inside, I have, there it is. Rain or shine, I'm here for you. Pretty font. And then on my original card, I stamped the little daisies, and then I had an extra terracotta pot, so I just glued it on there, one that I had die cut. We're going to do it the opposite. We are going to, the main reason I did that, I didn't want to take my stamp off my Stamparatus because I had everything laid out, but we're good now, so I can use it again. So I'm going to take that little terracotta pot, get my color that I'm using for my pot, keep it a little bit to the right of the edge because you need room for your daisy petals so they don't go off the edge of your card. And then using the blender pen, I can move that color into my pot a little bit and fill it in again. I'm not going to add any more ink. I'm just using whatever came off on the stamp this time. I can close that up so I don't put my hand in it. And then I did cut the daisies out using the coordinating die. And we're going to glue those flat onto the pot because it's on the inside of the card and I don't really want it to stick up anymore. I think I like that better with the daisies die cut on top rather than the pot die cut on top. Does that make sense? So I can set this over here for a minute while we put our card front together. And I'm just going to get my Stampin' Seal Plus. Add a little bit. Ooh, I got ink down there on the corner. Thank goodness it didn't bleed the whole way through. Come on. I was going to say, watch this run out. It only runs out when I'm on camera. We'll center this on to our designer series paper. And then I can add that to the front of the card face. So was there anything else I had to tell you about, told you about celebration? Make sure to go to my site and check out those last chance items, the retiring list, and kits are buy one get one half off. So if there are any kits that you like out there, those are available also at a discount. Oh, did I put that away? Have to add my inside. Oh, why did I do that? I hate it when I peel my paper up. I don't know why I do that. A little more down there just to hold it. Ta-da! There you go. I hope you enjoyed that card and that it inspires you to go make a card and send to somebody who might be needing a little smile. This was my original sample one that I just used blends and alcohol, my alcohol markers, the Stampin' Blends. This was my second one that we made together. So if you have any questions about the upcoming classes, you can email me at diane@bohostamper.com, and you can go to bohostamper.com on my website and click on the shopping link there that will get you to the Stampin' Up page. If you don't have a catalog coming, but you would like one, email me and we'll work something out so I can get a catalog to you. Thanks everyone for joining me, and I'll see you next week. Bye.